The truth is, my flying experience is reasonable 90% of the time, but it has a lot to do with lowered expectations. When I was a kid, I grew up in a neighborhood that every single playground was full of broken glass, broken basketball hips, and no swings. And everybody just accepted it because it was the way it was. Now, it's not like that anymore, but it took us 20 years to change the attitude. People today in the same community that I grew up in would never accept that because the level of expectations have been risen. The problem with the flying experience is across the board. We all know it's a terrible experience. Starting from the minute I go on the computer to try to figure out which flight I want to take. I have to go to several different websites, and even when I do that, I have to go into the depth of the websites to get truly comparable prices, because some don't charge fees, some do charge fees. Some charge fees for baggage, some charge fees for oxygen, who knows? I can't get comparable prices. So before I buy the ticket, I'm frustrated. I personally have shut that computer down repeatedly for many years because I got to go back to it, because you're right, I got to fly. And you got to go back and you got to dig your way through it from the very start. But we all expect it to be a miserable experience. And then when I get to the airport, I have to get through the TSA lines, which now, being a regular flyer, I go through the express lines, but now the express lines are full of people that don't know to take their keys out of their pocket. Frustrated. Then I get to the gate. Plane's late, plane's not late, never explained why. Now, honestly, up until last week, bumping was not a problem. Now, I've been bumped on occasion, but it's been handled reasonably. By the way, Mr. Munoz, I want to know how to get that $10,000 thing, because, believe me, I'll be flying United a lot more. You can figure that out. Here's the problem. And even with these fees, it's interesting. I get the airlines coming here complaining about the facilities we have, and yet I see that in 2015, the latest year we have, $3.8 billion in fees, which don't pay the ticket tax, which means almost $300 million that could have been put into improving those facilities didn't, because you don't want to tell us what your tickets cost. It's all, to me, we're kind of sick of it as the consuming Americans. We got to fly. You got us. You got us. And if you want to keep treating us this way, fine. I guess we can only do so much. But there will come a day when Congress won't accept it anymore on behalf of the American people, and that shouldn't happen. Mr. Munoz, you had a particular problem last week. I accept your apology. I think it's genuine. I think you mean it. But here's the problem. The apology is a beginning, and the policies seem reasonable, the ones you have now. And I don't mean to pick on you, but, you know, it's your turn. The problem is, every year, I say, you know what? I'm going to the gym. I'm going to lose 5 pounds. I'm going to get in shape again. By February, I'm kind of out of it. I give up on it. Every person I know that's ever committed a crime has basically apologized for it, didn't mean to. And the apology is good. Not saying, and again, I do accept it. I hope and believe it's sincere today. But I hope you all know that this doesn't stop today. And you will be judged on how it is implemented. It is not just you, Ms. Munoz. Again, it happens to be you today, but it could be any one of you tomorrow. And I presume you've all rechecked your own rules and regulations about how you do it, seeing that I'm sure you don't want to be in the hot seat the next time. So the truth is, I don't really have any questions because, again, I do think you've addressed the immediate situation. But if you walk out of here thinking that the immediate situation is the only problem the American public has with the flying experience, you would have missed the point. We have a problem that shouldn't be as bad and unpleasant as it is. And you're the only people that can fix it. And I encourage you to do so that we can get back to the point of nobody's against you making money. I don't want to yell at you. I just want to be able to go to the airport and get from point A to point B with a more pleasant experience. And if I do, believe me, I'll go back to your airline more often when that happens. Mr. Chairman, I apologize for not having a question, but I think all the questions I have been answered.
My only response to that is well said. Thank you. And with that, yield to Mr. Gibbs.
Thank you, Chairman. You know, I was thinking about this. You really have a cultural problem for the incidents that happen on United with the doctor. I mean,